trying to get a snack. The Post and Courier have mentioned someone got whacked. As curious as I am, I start to read it through. It was a brother that I known back in high school. That naughty boy to be exact, but it was weird, man.
What's up, y'all? DaCoolOne is here, and I know it's been a while since I made videos, but I wanted to let y'all know the deal, man. If y'all haven't noticed, I posted an old album of mine called Poetic Warfare. It is on YouTube now for y'all to peep. Now, I done put the playlist for the whole album, and I'll be putting this album on the stream soon. I wanted to say, shout out to Mr. Sche from Immortal Lil Life for the album cover that he made back in those times. That was in 2007. And he made some of the beats off of the album as well. So this was something that I held on to for a long time, pretty much almost about 15 years plus. And I finally released it out to the public. Now, people show me love, you know what I mean? Especially the ones that show love. Much love to y'all. I got some haters. I got some hate too. So don't think that everybody liked the songs that I made, at least back in those time period, back in 2005, 6, 7, and 8. And and I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Even back in those times when I was like really serious about making music, I used to be afraid of what people think. Meaning, I was afraid when people didn't like my music or the songs that I make, I would completely shut down because I was so stressed on why people didn't like my music. But now that I'm older, I've came to the point that like I can care less what people think now. I mean, for those who show love and support on the channel, I definitely appreciate it. And I appreciate the haters too, man. You know what I'm saying? I got comments from people that didn't like it or say this was the worst I ever heard or, oh, this song sucks, whatever. And what I did was just delete the comments because I'm not going to worry about the haters out there, man, that may not like the music that I make. And the songs that I made back then wasn't really my true self. It may have been on some songs, like Nowadays, that's like one of my personal favorite songs. Let My Name Shine, Wanna, that's like a female track that I made back then. And some other songs that I made off of the album of Poetic Warfare. But on some of the songs, it wasn't really me. You know what I mean? So now that I've grown older, I kind of know how to make music and just be myself without having to go out and impress people. I done kind of got to that point, man, like I can make songs on how I want to make it and I can say what I want to say and it won't have any consequences to it because I'm not signed to any label. That's why I made that video. I feel like I made it as an artist because the music industry is not really what it used to be, man. And I'm going to speak more in depth about that because even a couple of cats that I used to grow up listening to, even they say that the music ain't really making the money like it used to anymore because of these phony labels, these crappy labels. And you got the owners making most of the money instead of the actual artists. And I can also blame the artists for not understanding the business part of things. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I'm going to talk about some of this stuff because I don't think a lot of cats understand the real business aspect of the rap game or even the music industry. Because the business part is probably the most important thing of making music. If you sign the dotted line to a record label because you want to make some easy money or some quick money, then you're really not in it for what you really want to do. You know what I mean? It's that simple. And we got to understand, we as artists, we have the power. I'm going to speak more in depth about the streams that I kind of notice when I'm paying this money for the streams. Because y'all know my album, Musical World, is on the streams. And then I have a single called Autumn Blossom. And I'm going to put out a couple extra tracks for the Melodious Tunes. And this is the LP this time, not an EP. So I want to correct that for those that I was going to make it an EP, but I made so many songs over the years that I haven't put out there yet that I think I'm going to put this as an actual album. But as far as like my music goes, I'm going to create a website. I'll probably say nightfallsounds.net or something like that for y'all, the people on my discography of the songs that I made back in the day, because I don't really want my music on the streams like that anymore. Now, I'll keep it on there probably until I feel like it's time to take it off, because the streams ain't really quite making as much money as people think they are. Unless you're making like millions of streams, and even that could be a conflict of interest, because yeah, you might make a certain amount of money on the streams, but you got to think about how much the people who's in charge of the streams make. You see what I'm saying? So if you, let's just say, again, I'll speak more in depth about this, but let's just say you made $10,000 a month on streams, right? Imagine how much streams you have to make to get that amount of money a month. You're not going to have to make 10,000 streams. You're going to make millions. It's probably around the millions, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'll do all that extra stuff on another video. So I'm going to create a website where you can hear a lot of my underground music, or even current music that I'm making now, because I'm a smart individual, man. I kind of understand where the streams stuff is going to take place, and it's going to mess up a lot of artists, even upcoming artists that may want to make music, but the first choice they want to do is put it on the streams, and I don't think really that's the right way to do it. I would say it could be to an extent, you know, but if you totally depend on the streams, you will realize that the revenue being made for you ain't really cutting it. So I ain't gonna put names out there, but there's artists, legendary artists, that saying, you know, music, you're not making that much money like people used to. Because back in the day, man, I always say back in the day, I say back in like the 90s and the early 2000s, mid 2000s even, you could have made money off your music, and you could have like give people your CD or cassette tapes or whatever you want to do, and you could have make some type of money or some type of promotion making music. Now, was it harder back then to grind for your music? Absolutely. The only pro about the streams now, I can say this much, is if you want to promote yourself, you can easily do it. You can easily create a YouTube channel or Instagram page or Facebook page, whatever you want to make. You can easily make a page of your own and promote online. It's much easier to promote your music like that. I would say that much about today's music industry. Because I know back in the day when I used to grind, trying to promote my music, I had to go in person. I had to talk to people personally and tell them, hey man, I have this CD out, want to hear it out, blah, blah, blah. And I made some decent sales. It wasn't like the best, but I made some decent sales. And some of those CDs I kind of wish I had, because there's some songs that I made back in the day I no longer have, But the point, what I'm saying is, you could easily promote your music now. You can do that, because trust me, back in the day, man, I even include the 80s, the 90s. It was tough to grind, man. It was tough to get your music played on the radio, to kind of get yourself a little promotion. It was tough, man, especially for a lot of down south artists. So trust me, man, it's really easier now to promote your music if that's, or even, you don't even gotta make music. You can just produce beats and stuff like that and still kind of get a little promotion online. You can't, I'm not gonna say any names, but I'm gonna say certain producers mixed a lot of DJ mixes. And honestly, if social media wasn't like how it was today, we probably would have never heard of some of these cats that's making beats or making mix tracks. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's really easier now. But it's also a flaw to that, because the people think you may be independent with making music, but even at that point, you're still being controlled in a way of making tracks. Because if you make a track, let's just say you make a song and you put it on the streams, you did it your own independent way, and some people may complain about the track that you have on the streams. Guess what the people who's in charge of that can do? They can remove that song anytime they decide to. You know what I mean? Like, it can happen just that fast. If y'all know K Reno, the song he has called Secret War was on the album Mind Vision. That song is no longer on the streams. I think it's on YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube, but if you try to listen to it on the streams, it's not on there. Because of the things that he said on there, it could have been a little controversial, And that's why I want to create my own website and say what I want to say on there, because I understand, like I said, I understand people want to promote their music on the streams, but you got to think bigger. You got to think outside the box, because it's good to promote your music, absolutely. But once you say something or rap something that may offend people or may wake up the listeners, once you do that, they're going to try to cancel you. They're going to try to shut you off. They're going to try to do their best to just ban you from whatever social media site or whatever you're on. They're going to try to ban you. But if you have your own internet or your own website, who can stop your website but you? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. The NOI, the Nation of Islam, they have their own website. They can do whatever the heck they want to do on there. And there's nothing the media can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really want to pay attention to what Farrakhan or anybody that's in that organization have to say, you can go on their website. You don't have to go on TV. You don't have to go on Netflix or any other of those movie or video streams. You can go on your website, or you can go on the website and hear them out or read what they have presented easily. So that's the point what I'm trying to get at. So for those that's trying to like promote your music or trying to get your songs out there, that's great, but you gotta think bigger. All right. So again, I'll make another video talking about the streams of music and the money that people are really making. And I'll put some names in the mix as an example to show y'all what I'm talking about. So that's it. Much love to the real folks. Be on the lookout for the Melodious Tunes album. I'll start putting some of those tracks on this channel. And I want to say much love to those that supported me throughout these times. I had this channel for a good little minute, and like I said, I don't really, it's great that I get subs, but it's not a necessity, because I kind of have fun doing this thing, like making music and stuff like that. I do it for the love, and of course I want to make money too, but that's the least of my worries as of right now. All right, so that's it. Much love to the real folks, and I'm out this jump, man. Peace.